As we've seen from the definition in your vocabulary, the integumentary system is the system of organs and tissues that include the skin, your hair, and your finger and toenails. They comprise the entire system. But the integumentary word is generally used to refer to the skin. So it's a large word for the largest organ in the human body. All right, so here are some fun facts about the skin. Did you know that all human skin is actually some shade of brown? There is no such thing as black, white, red, yellow, etc. Your skin is the largest organ on your body and weighs twice as much as your brain. Did you know that skin is thinnest on your eyelids and thickest at the bottom of your feet? You will shed 40 pounds of skin in your lifetime. Oh. The skin in your ear makes earwax. Fingernails grow 3 millimeters per month and toenails grow 1 millimeter per month. Scar tissue has no hair or sweat glands. It also doesn't have any melanin, which produces the ability to tan, so your scar tissue will always be white. The back of your hand has almost 9,000 nerve endings, 30 hairs, and 4 oil glands. Interesting facts. There are 5 functions of the skin. First, it forms a barrier to help prevent harmful substances from entering the body. For example, it'll protect your insides from chlorine in a pool, which is designed to kill the microbes in the pool. It regulates your body temperature in spite of external changes in your environment. For example, sweating and getting goosebumps when you're cold. It helps eliminate mineral waste through perspiration. For example, the salt that you find in sweat on a summer day when you have been out running and jumping and playing ball or whatever, and your shirt dries after you're done, it's full of sweat. That's all the minerals that have come out in your sweat. Fourth, it will gather information about the environment. Your nerves gather that. For example, if you have a cut in your skin, you will feel the pain, know to take care of something, take care of it. Fifth, it produces vitamin D. Some skin cells in the production of sunlight actually help produce vitamin D, which is important in the absorption of calcium. Now, the 3 layers of skin are the epidermis, the dermis, and the hypodermis. We're going to look into details of the epidermis and the dermis. We're not really going to look at too much at the hypodermis in this unit. That is the layer that has the connective tissue, the fatty layer. Hypodermis is where your hypodermic needle gets stuck deep into. So hypo means below. Right now, what I want you to do is draw a line from each of these 3 layers to the name that matches. So from epidermis, I want you to draw a line to the top layer, outermost layer of that picture. From the word dermis, I want you to draw a line to the middle section. And then from the word hypodermis, I want you to draw a line to the lower section, the hypodermis. So how exactly does the skin help protect the body? Okay, so the outer layer, the epidermis, is the thinnest layer on most of the body. It contains no nerve or blood cells, and these are actually dead cells. These dead cells will remain on the surface for about 2 weeks. These dead cells form a protective barrier for the living cells that are underneath them. So on the last slide, we identified the function and structure of the epidermis. Now let's look at the other structures, the dermis. The dermis contains the blood vessels. It contains nerves and sweat glands and the hair and the oil glands. It really contains almost everything. It has openings for the hair to grow through that we call follicles. It also has openings to the surface for your sweat and the oil these little holes are called pores. Another very important structure found in the dermis, okay, the middle level, is that it contains melanin, which is the pigment chemical that determines skin color. So melanin is actually the chemical that determines your skin color. Now, as far as caring for your skin, you might be surprised to find out that eating right and drinking plenty of water and limiting your exposure to the sun and keeping clean are actually the things you need to do to take care of your skin. Now, as far as sun exposure, the next slide is going to show us what happens if you don't limit your sun exposure or use sunscreen if you stay out for a long period of time. Now, there are other structures in the integumentary system that include the hair and your nails, both your toenails and your fingernails. These are the other parts of the integumentary system. Now let's discuss stimulus response. What is a stimulus? A stimulus is any change or a signal that causes a reaction. So the ringing of a telephone is a stimulus. Cold temperatures are a stimulus. Hunger is a stimulus to you to eat. Now we're going to look at Gabby's story to find out why it's important to be able to get the message in your skin about an external stimulus, specifically pain. All right, we've looked at stimulus. Now let's look at what the definition of a response is. Quite simply, a response is a reaction to a stimulus. For example, goosebumps are a response to cold temperatures. And kind of in the opposite vein, sweating is a response to being too hot. Now the reason you sweat when you're hot or you get goosebumps when you're cold is because of this word right here, homeostasis. Homeostasis is the body's tendency to keep an internal balance. Homeostasis is the process by which an organism responds to stimulus in the environment. You will need to know what method of homeostasis works for every single body system that we study. So you need to get familiar with this word, homeostasis. It means internal balance. So the skin helps maintain homeostasis by regulating your body temperature. What does that mean? It helps us keep cool when it's hot outside, and it helps us warm up when it's cold. So how exactly does the skin help maintain homeostasis? When it's hot outside, you start to sweat. This cools you because the sweat helps carry heat away from the skin as the sweat evaporates. As the heat moves into the water on your skin and the water evaporates, it carries that thermal energy away from you. Now, when it's cold outside, the muscle connected to the hair follicles tighten, and so the skin surrounding the follicle puckers into a goosebump, which pulls the connected hair straight up, which traps heat near the body.